underground has the best video clips around. TV underground has the best video clips in town. TV underground has the best video clips around. TV underground has the best video clips in town. TV underground has the best video clips around. TV underground has the best video clips in town. TV underground has the best video clips around. TV underground has the best video clips in town. TV underground has the best video clips around.
Hi everybody, welcome back. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you all. We're starting a little early today. Please like the stream. We're going to watch some more of the Reckless Ben stuff. It's been like 2 weeks, I think, since the last stream that I did reacting to some of the videos. So some stuff has happened, but there was some legal action taken against Reckless Ben that has prevented him from making or releasing new videos. So his part 3 of the series is not... It's probably finished, but he can't release it. And we'll get into that in just a moment here. Let's take a look here. This is a video he released about a week ago.
Episode 3 is finally finished after crazy all-nighters and basically destroying my health. But I can't post it or I will go to jail. And not only that, I will also immediately lose my lawsuit of $300,000, and the GoFundMe we made for Brian will go straight to this mystery company that I am no longer allowed to talk about. They sent court papers to my email, which I guess a judge approved for them that this was a valid form of service. And so
wow, this judge is cracking down really hard. It's like, yeah, just email them.
That I'm officially served, I cannot even mention this company or
Bricks
I will
and minifigs.
Be in jail and everything. Normally I would be like, screw the big guy telling me what to do. I'm going to do what's morally right. But in this situation, if I do that, then all my friends get screwed with this lawsuit and we lose all the GoFundMe money we raised, like immediately. So I am no longer allowed to even mention this mystery company. My personal opinion is that this is unfair because this order was put on me because this company was telling the court that I was making bomb threats. I was planning on murdering the manager and employees, which obviously I didn't do, and you can see that in the footage. The only problem is I was not given a chance to share my side. The court just heard their perspective, not mine. So because I wasn't able to share my side, I am now no longer allowed to talk about them, and it looks like this might be it. So, yeah.
Yeah. Wow, he cut off the video before he even finished saying the word. So that's the latest Reckless Ben video that he made about the Lego scandal. And CoffeeZilla, who does like investigative reporting on YouTube, made this video about the whole thing.
A $200,000 Lego collection went missing, causing a lot of you to ask me to find it. And after seeing the cops point guns at YouTubers, people get arrested and sued for $1.3 million, I decided enough was enough. This looks like a case for the internet detective, this time in the $10 million Lego studio. So I talked to every suspect involved. What I found shocked me.
Cool intro.
Let's get... Okay, before we can find these missing Legos, let's give some background. A massive Star Wars collection was put on consignment at a Lego store called Bricks and Minifigs in Salem, Oregon.
This is a good recap for anyone who didn't watch episodes 1 and 2 of this.
Consignment just means the owner, Brian Mansell, gave it to a store to sell, and he was supposed to get a cut when it sold. The entire time, he maintained ownership of the collection, and a social media post estimated it to be worth about $200,000. But then, on November 14th, 2024, everything went wrong. This was the night that Crystal and Ben Gorman, the prior franchise owners of the Salem store, got kicked out by this guy. That is Brandon Best. He and his partner, Josh Johnson, ran a sister store in Eugene, Oregon, and Brandon drove up that night to kick the Gormans out. Brandon and Josh would be taking over the franchise in Salem, and this is the exact moment the Legos go missing. As that store is getting handed over, the question is Brian's collection in it? Here's what the official Bricks and Minifigs press release reads. Quote, after taking over the store, we discovered a small number of sets valued between $2,000 to $5,000 that could be possibly related to Mr. Mansell's collection. But there's a problem here. There should be over 10 times that amount in this store, given their internal records and what we know the estimated value of this collection was. So if corporate's saying there was only $2,000 to $5,000 in the store, something happened to these Legos. But what? In order to solve this case, let's think about the suspects. First, who was there that night of the handover? It's only 3 people.
I like the
Crystal.
score of this. It's shot very well. It's edited well. It's got good music. He has good production
And
value.
Ben Gorman, the former franchise owners, and Brandon Best, one of the new owners. These are our 3
He has a little Lego figure for each one of them.
biggest suspects, but they aren't the only ones. I want to address a few other suspects at the very start here. First of all, maybe this is just all the result of, plain old thieves breaking in. What about that possibility?
Hi, I am Chris. I was the previous franchise owner who signed the collection agreement with Brian Mansell.
And I'm Benjamin Gorman. I am the silent partner who's really bad at being silent.
We did have a couple of break-ins at the store. None of Brian's collections were in the police report or stolen during those.
Okay, so the Gormans say emphatically it wasn't thieves, but if that's the case, what about the guy who was arrested? I mentioned
it was thieves, but not
at the beginning of this
like
video,
burglars.
Reckless Ben. This is the YouTuber who started it all. With a documentary, I tracked down the thief who stole $200,000 of Lego. Maybe it's the perfect crime. Make a video tracking yourself. Now, for our theory, it's worth noting Ben is currently facing a RICO lawsuit by Bricks and Minifigs. He was even targeted with a search warrant for stolen Legos.
Included in the warrant are Legos.
The owner reported overhearing conversations about possible stolen Legos.
And on top of that, Reckless Ben was even accused
The officer ASMR.
of stealing the Legos by the current franchise owner.
I stole the Legos?
What do you think of the theory that it was Reckless Ben? He stole the Legos.
It's absurd. We didn't even know Reckless Ben. He
Yeah.
had no interaction, no relation to us, no relation to the store. That doesn't hold any water.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Apologies to the genius cops in Utah who play different.
We play differently here.
But I don't believe that Reckless Ben stole the Lego, mostly because he couldn't. He just wasn't there that night, and I don't even think he knew about these Legos. But who does Ben suspect is holding the Legos since he did this whole documentary series?
The guy who runs the entire company, Ammon McNeff, he personally came out to talk to us.
So what's going on?
He's got the Snidely Whiplash mustache.
So you guys are holding some of our Legos?
No, we're not.
You're not?
No.
Is that a lie?
No.
That's a lie. You did take the Legos.
No. So we have, our attorneys have visited, but again, so who's
Brian Mansell.
okay.
He's all over the
who's
place.
that?
He's a guy who had he had like $200,000 worth of Legos in your guys' store.
Nope. Never happened.
My name is Ammon McNeff.
Never
I am
happened.
the CEO of the Bricks and Minifigs brand.
So my name's Matt McNeff. I'm the COO.
So they're brothers.
The people you just saw are the McNeff brothers. They agreed to speak with me to try to clear their name. I asked them, do they have the Legos?
What I can tell you is that we don't have it. We've never had access to them.
It seems to kind of go missing. Parts of it seem to go missing on November 14th.
Well, and I guess no, not at all. I'm going to say, that is not accurate.
That's not true. No.
Because
So you think that the collection was in the store at the time or elsewhere?
elsewhere. When you look at Mansell's own words that he reiterated to a podcast last year, he explicitly stated to another podcaster, the sets were moved off-site for security.
The collection will not be stored on site after hours for security reasons, and after Sunday, the sets will be available for purchase but stored elsewhere.
Now, one thing that's been a big subject of the Bricks and Minifigs kind of story is, hey, there are these off-site locations. Can you address what that is? Is that true?
So the off-site location in the letter that that corporate is referring to is the original press release that we released when we were launching the collection. In that press release, because we had previous break-ins, I specifically included the location that after this weekend, those Legos would be stored off-site.
What a slip! Hold on.
Previous break-ins, I specifically included the location that after this weekend, those Legos would be stolen.
Those Legos will be stolen.
Would be stored off-site to deter any future thefts. They were briefly stored off-site after that launch weekend while I bought safes for the back room, and then they were moved back into the store.
Okay, so for most of the time, the sets were in the store after y'all got the safes in.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ammon McNeff suspects that a lot of the Legos weren't there that night. And then on the other hand, we just heard from Crystal and Ben Gorman explaining the off-site story, saying that later they no longer used those off-site locations. But what do we really know about the Gormans? They are the former franchise owners after all. I mean, shouldn't we be suspicious of everyone? They're one of our key suspects. They were there the night we lost Brian's collection. They were the creators of the consignment deal after all. And one group in particular is pointing their finger at them very hard. It's the McNeffs who say they were behind on payments.
We started getting calls from the landlord letting us know that Crystal was behind on the lease payments at the location. We had also gotten a couple of notices from some of our vendor partners that bills had not been paid by the store. And so we felt pretty strongly that there was going to be a risk of her just, like attempting to file bankruptcy, doing some of these other types of things which we've had franchisees do in the past, and that's problematic. So that's why we sent him up there to take some video footage. So we needed to just be prepared if we needed to do a hostile takeover, which, can happen in franchising where a franchise owner just, kind of tries to steal inventory and do some different things that way.
Okay, so Bricks and Minifig's story is that they were worried about the Gormans skipping town, so they sent Brandon Best as a secret...
That was such an awkward video of that guy, because that's when Reckless Ben went to his house and he came outside and just stared at him.
Shopper on October 24th, 2024. This is weeks before the takeover. Brandon takes a video of the store condition in preparation for this handover, but at this point, Brandon does not announce himself to Crystal Gorman. Later, though, on November 14th, once again, the same concern about the Gorman stealing or theft was expressed by the McNeffs.
Brandon was trying to make sure that they weren't taking things from the store, and so he was kind of trying to make sure that he wasn't putting things, hiding things in the back, and that and while he was watching that, trying to make sure Ben wasn't grabbing stuff from the store and moving it or doing anything along those lines, because he just got a weird feeling about the whole transition.
She took at least one, if not more than one, cartfuls of things out to her car with her coat draped over it.
So yeah, the McNeffs say, look, they don't trust the Gormans. And they explained it, even further. They said, hey, there's some issues in her past.
She apparently has a retail theft and other criminal arrests.
Let me be clear and go on the record. Cousin Maz stole a Lego and I have evidence. Can't show it at the moment as I am currently suing Matt with G-Man.
With G-Man? It's a class action against Matt with G-Man.
On her record.
Hell yeah.
That we were not aware of.
When was that?
I don't know. This has been brought out by several people online now.
Now look, that's a huge accusation to bring up, and so obviously I wanted to talk to the Gormans about it.
They're like, she has a history of some type of burglary, theft.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah, that's what they're
saying.
Yeah.
Oh. Nope. Well, yes.
Well,
you
explain.
know about this.
Explain.
Yeah, when I was 19 years old.
How long ago is that?
I am 45 now. So this was in 1999. This, something that happened 25 years ago, has no reflection and no bearing on what happened in the last 2 years, my management of the store, what happened the night corporate seized the store. It is another deflection. And it infuriates me. You're gonna try to publicly embarrass and shame me for somebody that was manipulated by local police departments when she was pregnant and 19 years old? F you. That's my response to that.
Yeah, they're doing the whole character assassination, like, oh, she was arrested in her past.
So sorry, you're gonna have to blur and cut a lot of this, but that pisses me off. I own what I have done. I own the mistakes that I have made. You cannot intimidate and bully me into backing down when I know that legally and morally I am in the right and I have the evidence to back it up.
Wow, this is getting kind of nasty and personal at this point, and I just wanted to give people kind of their side. But at every turn, I hope you understand, I'm getting contradictory stories, down to if the McNeffs knew about her history in the first place.
Like, they're bringing up something that I told them about.
Wait, you told them?
Told them. They asked me.
They said they had no idea. They said if we knew, we would.
Typical liars.
Never hired her.
Because we would not have hired her had we known this.
I told them I had a record
Corporate
from when I was
greed.
18. There was a family issue that, and didn't go into all of the details, but they were like, that's so long ago, we're gonna hire you based on who you are now.
Okay, I'm just gonna leave it there. You guys can make up your own mind. My point is, one side says up, the other says down, and it gets to the point both sides start hinting that they have photographic proof from the night of November 14th that proves the other side is lying. And so I'm like, look, at this point, let's stop talking. Show me the Legos.
Where I was told we are 100% have possession of photos that prove that the Gormans are lying. And then you guys are telling me we 100% have possession of photos that prove this side's lying. Who's gonna drop the photos first? I mean, I feel like someone just has to, somebody's right here.
And after a lot of convincing, both sides agreed to show me the photos, corporate and the Gormans. In fact, I scheduled the calls to do this an hour apart from each other. But let's remember their positions for a second. The Gormans say whatever was left unsold of Brian's collection that was in that store spreadsheet was in Salem's store the night of November 14th. Then you have corporate side. They say whatever was left that night was maybe $2,000 to $5,000 of Legos. The rest was either stolen by thieves, the Gormans, or held off site. It was not in that store. And on both sides, there's a lot to lose here, right?
The police corruption
Gormans,
is the
who
part of this
basically
story
have been
that
insinuated to
bothers
have been
me
stealing.
the most.
And for Josh and Brandon too, the new franchise owners, there's a lot on the line. I reached out to Josh and he told me, I think her pictures would only show a few sets and minifigs. I replied, so if I can prove that the Lego sets were in the store, that will prove Brandon was lying? Josh replies, if it shows something different, then yes, I will eat my words. So the stakes have been established.
Wow.
And let's see the evidence, starting with Matt McNeff. First, he showed me the video, October 24, 2024, for a baseline of how the store looked.
So this is the Salem Kaiser location, is that correct?
Salem Kaiser location, yes.
So is it fair to say I'm seeing quite
when
a few
I was in
Legos
Portland
here? I mean,
and cousin Matt came up there, this town, Kaiser, Oregon, was on the way. I was like, you should stop by there. He's like, oh, it's a pain in the ass to get there from the freeway.
Legos, you'd agree?
There's a good amount of Lego on hand. This isn't what I would say is a well-stocked bricks and minifigs, but it's not terrible. It's I would say a little below average as far as overall stock. So now let's go to November 14th. Can you still see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So November 14th, when Brandon was in there helping.
Wait, this is the day. This is like the big day.
This is the day.
Hold on, I gotta prep myself emotionally for this.
Okay.
This is a big deal. This is D-Day. This is the big moment. This is Brandon takes over the store. We don't know where the Legos are after this moment.
We don't know where the Legos are after this moment. And I want to point out again that we've had this for a while. We haven't this is the first time we've shown this publicly. We've been waiting for our attorneys to give us the approval to say, hey, this is okay now to share in this capacity. So we'll go through these pictures. This is what Josh saw, or not Josh, sorry, Brandon saw. He took pictures of everything in the store, all the inventory in the store. This is what the shelves looked like compared to what you just saw a moment ago.
Okay, so I'm seeing a lot less. Just to state the obvious, go back a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm seeing like way less.
So yeah, the pictures I was being shown on November 14th, those shelves looked emptier than they did on the day of October 24th. But to be fair to the Gormans, they addressed the empty shelves themselves.
As we get to the very end of this video in particular, right here, you'll see that empty space right here. So this is the retired and certified set section that we have to keep separate from the new in box current sets being sold by Lego. All those empty spaces up there were the sets that we had on display during the day from Brian's collection that every night when the store closed, we pulled off and put back into the safe and then put back out in the morning.
So when they say, see, there's empty space on the shelves, yeah, because we put them in safes at night to keep them safe.
Because we have giant windows.
Yeah, it's an explanation that kind of makes sense given the history of burglary. Now, of course, this is something I had to ask the McNeffs about.
Is this a case of, did y'all see Star Wars sets in the back? Did y'all not see the Star Wars sets in the back? Did he take, not in the back, but specifically in a safe? Like there were a bunch of Star Wars sets in a safe. Did Brandon see those? Has there been talk of those? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. My understanding is that he took pictures of everything, and all those photos I showed you of the Star Wars were all the photos, or was literally all the Star Wars inventory in the store.
Yeah, the McNeffs say all of the photos should be with Brandon of all the Star Wars items. And to be fair to them, they showed me a lot more pictures and even showed me a spreadsheet of all the Star Wars sets in the store the night Brandon took it over. And it valued to about like $5,000 to $10,000 or so. But then I had to ask.
Oh, sorry, here's another kind of set.
Okay.
Do you think y'all have all of these?
Very likely.
Okay.
Again, I'd be surprised if we didn't.
But then I couldn't help myself. I started to bring up some of Crystal's photos to see if they matched up.
Have you seen this before?
Not that I recall.
So do you see that?
Not that I recall.
So do you see it's...
That's what you say during a deposition when you don't want to admit to anything.
Like some kind of like a safe thing? I don't know if you can see the sides there.
Looks like a bookshelf to me, but sure.
Okay, sure, yeah. So I think the important thing is making sure that all of these are in the inventory for Mansell.
Sure. Sure, that's cool.
75041.
Yep. The Vulture Droid.
75169.
169 I'm not seeing, so there may be... Okay, so there's one that is not on our list.
Let's try this. 10240.
Okay, nope, not seeing that one either.
What about 9493?
I don't see that one either. So maybe those were locked at the time, and Brandon did not get those pictures.
All right, that's kind of a problem because the Gormans had over 200 photos of this store. I definitely knew looking at these photos, there's a lot more Legos in the Gormans photos, by quite a lot that Brandon's photos just didn't show. But corporate didn't really see it that way.
But still, in the grand scheme of things, we're not talking, again, 10 times the amount of sets here.
I don't know. I haven't...
recollection, Cousin Matt Def stole the Lego.
Yep, to the best, and Cousin Matt doesn't recall. So, the best of your recollection is not recalled.
Shown
what can you do?
The photos yet. I don't know exactly how much.
If there's a calculable figure that we can look at and say, great, this is what was there, I promise you it's not $100,000 worth of Lego. And so where's the rest of it? He got me. I don't know.
I don't know what
Maybe I'm a little too in my head about this U-Haul story. You don't think it could have been some U-Haul thing? There's no way.
Oh, yeah, have we talked about the U-Haul yet? We gotta talk about the U-Haul for a second. This is another one of those things that was like really disputed between the two parties, was this U-Haul that supposedly was driven up to the store the night of the takeover.
So when Brandon came to the store that night, he was driving a U-Haul truck.
Now, in typical fashion, this was immediately
You should have just went there.
Brandon showed up to the Salem store in a rental car. When he came to get the keys from Crystal, he was there in a rental car, not
literally just making a video of outside of the building would probably get a lot of views.
It wasn't until after he told me he was taking the keys and locking me out that I really kind of paid attention to the fact that he had a large, not the small, the large U-Haul truck.
By the way, I'm trying to kill the ghoul. Last night we tried really hard and didn't quite make it. So if anyone wants to help with the ghoul, the link is pinned in the chat. I would appreciate it greatly if we could kill the ghoul.
So yeah, I just kept hearing about this U-Haul truck. Now, why is it significant, U-Haul or not? Well, one, a U-Haul truck can fit a lot of Legos, but the big reason it mattered to me was because I was actually called by an ex-employee of the
A U-Haul is a rental moving truck.
Brixton Minifix store in Eugene, Oregon. Remember, that's the one that Brandon and Josh owned. And he told me something very interesting.
I'm a former employee, started in 2024, and I was working under the old manager Brian, and he sold the store to Brandon, Best, and Josh.
What store was this? Brixton Minifigs where? Okay.
Yeah, so the same guys
what did you see
that are accused of stealing the Lego sets in Salem, they already owned the store in Eugene.
Made you want to talk to me?
I saw Reckless Ben's YouTube video about the Salem store closing down because when I was talking to my co-workers about the situation about Salem, and we were told through other employees that it was just a bad area to work in. It was like haunted, if you will, is what was going around. But after seeing the video of Reckless Ben, he exposed them, and it makes a lot more sense with what we dealt with Brandon and Josh. Like, oh, Crystal stole Lego sets and bolted out of the country.
Who says that?
Brandon Best told us. When he was dropping off all the Lego sets to us that night. It was a bunch of
So this anonymous person is claiming that they moved the Lego sets to the Eugene location.
Sets that were like saran wrap, they had Star Wars CD, they had just a lot of stuff. It was like a medium-sized U-Haul truck.
Wait, they brought a U-Haul truck.
Yeah, from Salem to Eugene.
And to Eugene, and it had a bunch of Star Wars sets on it?
Yeah, Star Wars sets, like everything. A bunch of used stuff too.
Wait, when and was this when they took over the store from Crystal?
I believe so, yes. Yes, because he said that Crystal stole Legos and left the country.
While he has a U-Haul of Legos?
Yeah.
Interesting. Weird.
And he said, we're just going to hold on to this stuff until corporate tells us where we have to distribute it. And we're like, oh, well, it'd make more sense if we could take it because we're kind of struggling with, the product we put on the shelves.
Oh my gosh. We really got to find out. Was there a U-Haul that night or not? Because everybody's disagreeing about it. This Eugene, Oregon guy says, oh yeah, a U-Haul showed up with Star Wars sets in it. Brandon was talking about the Salem store. You've got Matt McNeff saying there was no U-Haul there. It was a rental car. You've got Crystal saying, yeah, I thought it was really weird. There was a U-Haul truck there. So I told the McNeffs, I really got to find out what the truth is here.
If you know anything about it, let me know, because that's just something I heard.
I do, and it has nothing to do with the Salem store. Well, at least not the Salem store in the way that it is there. Brandon showed up to the Salem store in a rental car. When he came to get the keys from Crystal, he was there in a rental car, not in a U-Haul.
So when there was the handoff, there wasn't a U-Haul; it was a rental car.
Correct. He was there in a rental car.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think any of the, like, if you were to look at the footage, the ring cameras, all that stuff, you won't see a U-Haul sitting anywhere in the parking lot.
So after hearing all of this, I realized, look, I just got to find the evidence. So I start sifting through these photos I have, right? I realize I have a parking lot photo. I check it. No U-Haul, just a red truck out there. I check another photo where you could see the window, but the problem is it's night outside, so you can't see. And so I'm looking at everything I can, and there's just nothing, I have this alternate angle. I'm looking at that, and then, wait a minute. Zoom in on that photo. Bring up the brightness of this photo a little bit, and
there's the U-Haul.
My gosh. There's a U-Haul in the parking lot right outside of the store the night of November 14th, 2024. This is something that Matt said he had seen footage of, and it couldn't be true.
And again, I believe I have seen footage from that night that shows clearly out into the parking lot, and there's no U-Haul.
After seeing this, I said, I really have to make a call. And that's when the story changed.
So last night, I talked with Matt McNeff. I brought up this question of the U-Haul. He told me emphatically there was no U-Haul. Y'all came to me this morning. You said, hey, we looked into it. There actually was a U-Haul there that night. Can you clear up what that's about?
So there's actually two different things that are going on here.
He has a villain mustache.
Just to help you understand. And I don't know if you want this particularly not on the record, but we do know of a disgruntled former employee that worked at another location that back on the 24th of October, there was a U-Haul that went to a storage unit in Salem for another previous franchisee, for a different situation that we had just
how convenient
gone through some things, and he had a previously, hey, I have some inventory that I didn't turn over that I was supposed to.
They also claim that they never allowed consignment deals, but that's not true. There's documentation to prove that they did allow consignment deals.
It's at this storage location. You guys can come pick it up. And so Brandon was sent on that day to pick up with a U-Haul inventory that then he moved down, but that was October 24th.
So when we're talking about this ex-employee, you're saying they are conflating the October 24th event of the U-Haul coming up to Eugene with Legos with...
Don't compare this guy to not Coffeezilla, but the other guy to Doc Holliday. You'll make King Cobra roll in his grave.
Sometime after November 14th, after the store takeover. Is that correct? Am I understanding that?
Yes.
So this is now kind of a strange story. Corporate is saying there was a U-Haul at the Eugene store dropping off Lego, but that was from a different night, different collection. The CEO says Brandon showed up to Salem on October 24th for his secret shopper job with Crystal, and separately, he also was getting a different collection of Legos that also included Star Wars, and that's what he brought to the Eugene store and the former employee is remembering. Then, weeks later, on November 14th, Brandon supposedly shows up again with a U-Haul, but the reason isn't for hauling Legos.
Brandon flew in to Eugene that night, at midnight. So flew from Utah on the 13th, but landed in Oregon on midnight of the 14th. Went and got a rental truck, and then went and stayed at a trailer that had previously been moved up there in anticipation, meaning a camper trailer, in anticipation of the potential hostile takeover previously.
Is that why he had a U-Haul? Is that the reason he had a U-Haul was for this camper, or what's going on?
It's funny how they denied the U-Haul, and now they're trying to make excuses for why the U-Haul was there, and it just happens to not have anything to do with this other thing.
So then what happens is he takes his rental vehicle truck, and he tries to connect the trailer, the camping trailer, to that truck, and it's not rated for that particular weight, and he realized, oh crap. He called around and found that U-Haul had a rating for one of their box trucks, and so he grabbed that, went and got it at 10 a.m. on the 14th, and so he then went and hooked that trailer up to the camping trailer to a U-Haul, drove that trailer down to another location where he could set up the camping trailer in Salem, dropped off the camper trailer, and then he arrived in a U-Haul to the Salem store. And then went in, said hi to Crystal, and then as she was leaving, the door shuts, and so he locks it, calls the locksmith. Takes him a while to finish up the changing of the locks. Brandon at this point is pretty exhausted, so and he has an hour drive back to Eugene to drop off the rental truck. So he drops it off at midnight or 1 o'clock, something like that. Grabs the rental truck and then heads back up to the camper trailer in Salem, and then probably gets in at around 2 or 3 in the morning, spends a couple of, that's a little bit of sleep before he has to head back to the store at 9 a.m. before the other employees get there. The timeline that is trying to be portrayed just makes absolutely zero sense.
Okay, so I asked, obviously, for documentation of all of this from Brandon. And here's what I got. First, you have, and reconstruct what was in the
We
night.
can with a high degree of confidence declare with utmost certainty that there were potentially no U-Haul or any Lego at all in what is perceived to be our Lego store.
Yeah. Yes, it's that kind of corporate legal speak.
November 14th. Remember, that's the moment we lost the Lego. And this time, we're going to combine it with two more things. First, from corporate, I got the point of sale records from the Salem store from 2023 to 2024. And secondly, from Crystal Gorman, I got her internal records of Brian's inventory of what was sold or not in order to pay him and keep track of prices. Now, before we piece things together, I need to address something. At the beginning of this story, you saw the social post saying this collection was worth $200,000. That's what everyone knows this story as, the $200,000 Lego collection. But sadly, that post was entirely wrong. In Crystal Gorman's inventory, which has a high and low estimate value of these various Lego items, the real estimated value is about $107,000. They give high estimates and low estimates, but that's right there in the middle. And for simplicity, I'll just be using averages and estimates here, but understand that, these numbers are not firm, given that they're unsold Legos. It's just rough possibilities. But the point is, it's worth nowhere near $200,000. And Reckless Ben, the one who made the original video covering this, said that surprised him.
Yeah, this entire time, literally every single person's been telling me there were $200,000. Like, that's how much, you could sell all these sets for.
My original assessment of about $200,000 was going up to his father's house and looking in 3 different rooms with all the sets. It was before I'd actually gone through and had set numbers and done an actual evaluation. I looked at it and went based on as things progressed and as I started to delve more into the actual inventory and evaluating it, that number changed. But we put out the press release well in advance of the event itself, so that press release went out before I had those full numbers. So we went, this is a nice even number that will grab attention and bring people into the store, so we went with that.
And still, to believe that is accurate at the high end. It was one of those things where when she was looking through and going, it says this and it says this, you don't think even at the high end?
You haven't actually seen the spreadsheet.
No, I haven't.
You might want to cut that part out because he hasn't actually seen the inventory sheet.
The spreadsheet says about from between 85,000 to 120 something.
It's funny because the guy who owned the Lego sets has a GoFundMe going right now, and they've raised over $500,000 right now. So they've raised 5 times what these sets might possibly be worth.
1,000 in the midpoint about 107 or something like that of what was inventory. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
here it is
this
right
has
here.
been a really big point of misinformation to clear up, because if we're ever going to find the missing Lego, we need to start with the right number, the right value. It's about $107,000. Now,
I think the problem with that, though, is he might be getting sued now, along with Reckless Ben, and a lot of that money is going to have to fund a defense in a lawsuit against them.
2023 and 2024,
I don't know all the
Gormans
details, though. I
report
think
sales
that's
of
what's
about
happening.
$24,000 of Brian's collection in their inventory tracking list. And of those sales, Brian was entitled to about 65 to 70% of it. He was paid $17,000, which roughly tracks with that. Which means on November 14th, the big night, the remaining amount of Brian's collection that should have been in there is about $82,000. Now, it doesn't take a genius to realize this is a very different number than corporate provided, who found only $2,000 to $5,000 of it linked to Brian. And later they said they only found $13,000 to $15,000 in total Lego Star Wars.
So you're talking maybe $11,000 to $15,000 total Star Wars, and that's all Star Wars inventory in the whole store.
So that's corporate side of the story, but I didn't want to take their word for it. So I went through Crystal's photos myself, which she shared with me. and hired people to go through and hand tag the Star Wars Legos that were in these photos. We looked through over 200 plus photos,
Ben pays
multiple
Shabisky
videos.
in Legos because Shabisky is retarded.
Oh, whoo, damn. Ugh. Can neither confirm nor deny.
And matched what we saw with Brian's collection. In the end, I ended up with about $21,000 of Legos, matching Brian's collection that can be proven to be in the store on the night of November 14th. Now, to state the obvious, that's about 3 to 5 times.
And what does Shabisky do with them? He just leaves them on the floor for his parents to step on and hurt their feet. Disgusting.
What corporate estimated, at least on their press release. Now, yes, there are inherent errors in these estimates. Maybe we picked up some Lego
shoves
that
them up
matched
his
Brian's
nose.
collection, but wasn't Brian's. But even though this is a bigger number than corporate said, I have to admit, even with pretty generous assumptions being made, there's still a huge gap of about $61,000 here that I just couldn't find. But then I learned Brian had made a special side deal with M&R Productions, who had recently purchased some Legos from him. And this is where it starts to get messy. So these are the pictures that M&R Productions sent me, looking at the Lego that Brian sold him. This was stuff reportedly in storage, and it's interesting because of an early inventory list, which had a column called Location that Crystal used. And it listed a lot of the Star Wars items as being located in what they called storage.
What they do is they make these limited edition sets and only sell them for so long, and then they discontinue them, and then people who are collectors of that shit, they have to pay above market price to buy them because they're in a limited quantity now. So
now, previously I was told that all of the stuff in storage was put back in the store, but there's a bunch that's on this list that I can't find in the store that seem to appear in these pictures. Now, I've been assured, by the way, that most of these Legos were not part of the inventory spreadsheet. They were never given to Bricks and Minifigs. This is a separate part of the collection, but I did a check, and 100% of the items that match the Brian collection inventory just so happen to be listed with a location of storage. So this starts to make things incredibly fuzzy, and I'm inclined to believe that a lot of these are part of that same inventory list. Now, if we take that value of the side deal, that's about $10,000 to $20,000 that's not actually missing. Now, it was at this point I started looking more at the point of sales records. I realized maybe we could find some of this missing Lego there too. So this is from the Salem internal store records. Like, I guess this is what is entered when someone does a sale, and it's everything from September 2023 to November 2024 of Star Wars anything. And by the way, before we continue, yes, this was all a lot of work. If you want to, please support us on Patreon. That's how this show gets made. But anyways, according to those records, about $51,000 in sales went through during this time period in a way that matched Brian Mansell's collection. Now, that really worried me because Crystal's inventory list showed only $24,000 in sales for Brian, and Brian was only paid for that amount. But suddenly, I remembered back to a time when I spoke to Crystal, and I asked how much was sold prior to the takeover. Which is something similar from what you told me, Crystal.
Yeah.
You told me, hey, it was about 50-something thousand.
Yeah.
But Brian was only paid $17,000.
Okay.
And it should have been about double that. And I'm just trying to make sense of that, given that everyone's accusing each other of theft right now. You understand?
I mean,
the Lego brand has been around for almost 80 years. Looks like they started making them in 1949.
Without seeing any of those records, without seeing those individual tickets, I can't answer that any better.
Okay, this is kind of a problem. The math ain't math in here. 65 to 70% of 50,000 is almost double what we believe Brian was paid. And digging into the details, it turns out a lot of these sales come from what Crystal's spreadsheet actually categorizes as layaways, meaning they were marked as having been sold, but layaways are when someone puts a down payment on an item and later pays it off. But the problem was there were a lot of these. worth about $20,000.
Ben
in
invented
layaway.
Lego because he's
and that
so
felt a
old.
little strange to me. And because of that, I asked Josh Johnson, the incoming.
Actually, I found that there was a British toy maker making interlocking blocks first, and that's where they got the idea for Lego, based on these blocks here from the 1930s, made by a company called Kitty Craft. Interesting.
Owner, and he responded, quote, "There were 2 to 3 items on layaway when they took over."
So on the list of that, on the inventory list, do you know about how many layaways
I haven't gone through and done a count, but I know it was vastly more than 2 to 3.
It was about 98.
That makes sense.
So there were about $15,000 to $25,000 worth of sets on layaway.
Okay.
That's just the part that's surprising. That's the part that I can't get my head around. I go, how could, let me just be really honest. I don't believe there was that much layaway. I don't know. I don't know how that's possible. How could there be that much layaway? I don't know. It's like I don't believe, because I was talking to some people about bricks and minifigs. They go, yeah, there's some layaway. There's not that much layaway. I talked to people who were neutral, kind of on corporate side, but also people who were just normal bricks and minifigs people. They say there's not that much layaway. Help me understand why there's $20,000 worth of layaway here.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely. If you talk to other bricks and minifigs locations, layaway is extremely rare. I think outside of the Brian's collection,
Okay, good. I'm not crazy here. So then why was there so much layaway there?
No, absolutely not. Outside of Brian's collection, I think at the time we maybe had 2 used sets on layaway outside of his collection. Okay. It was not a common thing traditionally. I don't know that we'd ever done layaway before the collection came in. With Brian's collection, it was a little bit different because so much of this collection were new in box, all in one place, reasonably priced, and a lot of the harder to find items. And so customers would come in and put, I'm gonna guess probably half of those layaway items were not gonna be sold to the person who took them on layaway, because we had several that would put them on layaway and then change their mind. So this was something like, somebody would come in and want 10 different sets but only be able to buy 1. Can I put the rest of those on layaway so you don't sell them? I'll pay $10 to put these sets on layaway. Traditionally with layaway, we would ask for 10% down. They'd have 30 days to make their next payment, or we'd refund the layaway amount and then put it back on the shelf. Because this collection was the collection it was, and I wanted to give these people the opportunity to...
Some doggy madness going on?
Dogs. To get these sets, we were a lot more generous with how long and the amount of payments that people could make towards the layaway. So a lot of these, we had several of them. I think one of the Ewok villages, we put on layaway 4 different times, and then it came off of layaway and back on layaway and then off and then sold. So a lot of these would have gone on and off of layaway and then back out on the shelf, just depending on the person who was putting it on layaway. That was completely unique to this.
Looks like in the 60s and 70s, Nintendo made like a Lego knockoff brand here, which I think is interesting. Had no idea.
This collection.
So look, I'll be honest. I don't trust Josh Johnson, but something is weird here.
So a lot of these are, look at this. It says POS final sale price, but it's listed as a layaway, but it's sold for $5.99.
Yeah.
Because it matches with the store sale price.
Okay.
So were they on layaway? Were they accidentally marked layaway on the spreadsheet? What's going on there?
I mean, without seeing the actual sales ticket and seeing what else, what items were sold together, what else was sold with it, I can't actually see the sales ticket. We had several layaway items in which customers were putting multiple things on layaway, paying for most of one item, and then, or they were buying, 8 different things together and then putting all of them on layaway and making payments on multiple items at the same time.
I bought an
our Ewok
autographed
Village.
headshot photo of Cousin Matt on layaway. Worst $1,200 I ever spent.
Overpriced.
Was one of those cases. At some point, he had, I think, like 8 or 9 different items on layaway. So they'd come in and make a payment for a bulk payment. You know, I've got 800 things on layaway. I'm going to make $100 on my payment. One customer in particular would do that, and then when he'd gotten up high enough to pay for one set, we'd pull that set out, mark it as sold. So without seeing the actual tickets and my layaway records, I cannot answer a question any clearer than that.
But I even found more than that in this POS data. I also found about $10,000 in sales that match Brian's collection that were not marked as sold under this inventory spreadsheet.
Some of our things that were not found were explained by the POS system because they were found in the POS system as being sold. So like they weren't marked on the spreadsheet, but they were marked as sold via the POS system. And this is about $10,000 worth of Lego that basically were matched.
See, and I don't know. Take anything happening from, let's see, sorry, I'm trying to do math here. I don't know without being able to see all of the records. There is a possibility that the consignments were ended when I wasn't at work and I just didn't go through and pull them up. They didn't get put in the consignment ticket. I hadn't gone through those consignments in a couple of months. I hadn't gone through the inventory in the back room in a couple of months. So it is entirely possible there were sales that were finished that I never clocked as being finished. I don't know that without going through and actually seeing it.
But you're saying it's possible stuff was sold, not updated on this inventory list.
It's entirely possible that stuff did not get updated on my spreadsheet. I'm not going to sit here and claim it's not possible. It's possible I missed things.
So where does this leave us? I know some people are jumping to conclusions here, but I must remind you that on the night of November 14th, 2024, Crystal Gorman was concerned about Brian getting paid or not getting paid.
He has not been paid his percentage yet. And if I don't have the tickets, I won't know how much I need to pay him.
Okay. So Crystal, ultimately, that's a business thing and not necessarily yours. Brandon will take, it's taking on the business, he takes on all that consignment.
So obviously, one could see that and say she was intending to reconcile with Brian. Maybe she hadn't gotten around to it. And of course, corporate will probably take a more cynical view of what she's doing by printing these receipts. But the point is, regardless of whose side you're on, I think we can all agree there's a lot of weird stuff here on all sides. Abnormal stuff. Sure, maybe you can chalk some of this up to bad record keeping between the U-Haul, the layaways, the $20,000 in Lego sets that corporate called $2,000 to $5,000 that was there that night, the off-book deals. But even if we can't fully know 100%, what these weird things were about, I think they tell a story of what actually happened to Brian's collection. In a way, multiple people, I think, are kind of right, kind of wrong. The Gormans were correct that more of that collection was there that night of the takeover than previously thought. But corporate also alleged that some of it was offsite, and that appears to be partly true, although some of that is disputed, and it looks like, way more of the collection was sold and layawayed than Brian was paid for. But all in all, there's a lot less missing than many people think, especially if your starting number is $200,000. I estimated, and I must emphasize, estimated with bad records, that there's only about $10,000 to $20,000 in Lego that isn't explained by one of these sources. This isn't to say Brian's been fully compensated. Much of this Brian wasn't paid for that I know of. So I estimate he's still out about $50,000 to $83,000 for Lego he wasn't compensated for. And I think honestly that's something that Bricks and Minifigs obviously should handle and make right. Regardless of what a franchisee does, the new one, the old one, the company behind it must stand behind their product, their service, and I can't imagine a better example of a company doing the opposite. Unfortunately, Bricks and Minifigs has chosen to deflect and dodge responsibility at most opportunities and created a really awful customer experience that has snowballed into this crazy series of events. But instead of taking accountability for that, they've taken an aggressive legal strategy, which I told them personally was a horrible idea. As of writing this, Brian Mansell is being sued for $1.3 million as part of a legal campaign against him and Reckless Ben and any of the associates. Remember, Brian is the same guy who lost all these Legos at Bricks and Minifigs store. And I told the CEO and COO that's ridiculous and they should drop this. Look, mistakes have been made by plenty of people here, but there's a lot more people who have inflicted self-owns, the likes of which we've rarely seen, by just choosing the worst possible path at every fork in the road. No pun intended. But the best path to making things right, in my view, is by just making Brian whole and moving on. Drop the aggressive legal strategy. You are a Lego store at the end of the day. You are supposed to be about fun, not about a rerun of Suits. But anyways, that's my investigation. Those are my closing thoughts. And I knew I wanted to approach everyone involved in this whole story with my results and see what they thought to close things out.
All right.
Does all that make sense to you? Because I'm showing everyone in this story and saying, hey,
the thing
are any of these numbers blowing your mind, or is any of this crazy to you?
No, it's not crazy. But what's crazy to me, again, like all the photo evidence that both sides have points to there being, sure, $20,000 worth of Lego in this of Star Wars Lego in the store that night, right? I don't know, man. I'm just like, can people understand maybe why there was some confusion and why there was some hesitation when somebody comes in and says, hey, you owe me $60,000 worth of product in Lego, and we go, we don't even know who you are. Like, yeah, Crystal mentioned something about consignment on her way out the door. And we go, sure, we'll get that figured out. But then the guy just walks in and demands $60,000 worth of Lego? Like, what am I supposed to do other than say, cool, show me, can you show me the proof?
Yeah, there's proof.
The problem is there's so much of a dispute on the timeline, and this is what's going to make this story so hard to tell, is like, they say, you guys are unreasonable. They tried, and eventually they gave up. But they say they tried, and they were basically met with, like, unreasonable requests, things like that. So,
verification? Documentation? Is that unreasonable, do you think?
Well, I think they would say they provided the documentation, and you guys say you need more documentation. So, I mean, that's kind of the
right. A spread, like, I understand a spreadsheet and a contract are a good start.
Yeah.
A contract is not.
We never got that. That was never sent to us at corporate, by the way.
Y'all don't have y'all do have the spreadsheet though, yeah? Y'all have the spreadsheet.
That was shared online, but months after we asked for it.
It says it's. I'm so confused. It says I'm on the file right now. It says storage used, owned by BAM Franchising Inc. Owner Salem.or bricksandminifigs.com.
What are you looking at?
It says owner Salem.or at bricksandminifigs.com. That's you guys. It says owned by BAM Franchising Inc. It says created September 6, 2024. And when I look at it, this is the Mansell list, I believe.
So this would have been created under we have the
this guy is such a clown.
Y'all definitely have this. Y'all have access to this.
Well, I had no idea. Like, so
I don't recall.
This is the first
it's right
that anybody
here.
has shown me that a spreadsheet was created using like Bricks and Minifigs Salem, and all of this stuff was archived. This is the first I've seen that this spreadsheet was created by Crystal, and we don't know how accurate it is, how up to date it was. We don't know a lot of those types of things, and understand. I appreciate you sharing this with us because we had no idea. Again, you don't know what you don't know, and you can't we don't know everything, and we don't go looking in every nook and cranny everywhere. We just don't know some of those things. So if that's there, we can now have our team go look for that.
When it comes right down to it, they're going to have to make a judgment call and say who's telling the truth. The people who were taking all the pictures and we couldn't take pictures of everything the night of, but we're being honest consistently, and the people who are saying there was $5,000 there. Really?
I don't
that
even know
makes
those Lego
no
sets.
sense.
I don't know
We've got
them.
the evidence.
I don't know the man.
And yes, there's a discrepancy. We
Thank you
acknowledge
so
we did
much.
not
We're
take
almost at 90%.
pictures of everything, but does that mean that the discrepancy is, oh, and therefore these missing, percentage, whatever that would be, 5%?
I'm still going to do a regular stream later tonight. I was planning, I'm hoping we can meet the ghoul this stream. Later tonight, we do a new stream trying to get towards the new ghoul. I took some time off. That's why it's taken until Thursday to meet the ghoul. And I was thinking, we'll see. I'm trying to get the logistics of it figured out. But I'm thinking about live reaction to the World Cup game, Australia versus USA tomorrow. Maybe. Quite possibly.
Is some magical other place?
If
or it was sitting there
That's
in the
sports
store.
ball. I don't even watch soccer, and I don't really understand the all of the rules. I played it when I was a kid, but whatever. Why not do it?
And we didn't get pictures of it.
If I
That's
if
the
I
more
messed
reasonable
up,
explanation.
if I messed up on my record keeping, I will take accountability for that. It's possible. If my staff didn't draw attention that consignments had left out, so I'd move them to the thing. Any of that, I will take accountability to that. I am more than willing to do that. I need BAM to show me those tickets.
As they promised to do.
I will sit down with Brian and talk this over and figure out what we missed and where it was missed and how it was missed. And
Whoa! I am not on OnlyFans. I am not on OnlyFans.
make that right with him.
I mean, that's new information no one's ever found out, so that's like awesome. They're gonna lose hundreds of millions of dollars because of their own wrongdoing. They're literally gonna destroy their entire company because they're this stubborn over maybe $20,000 worth of Lego.
Sure, I'll be keeping you in the loop with what
Nice. I'm excited. This was good work. My other final thoughts is, dude, you solved it, dude. That's
Get
awesome.
smashed already, Ben. You fuck.
Get smashed? Well, I don't have anything right now, but I could.
I am sorry, Judge. Did
could
you say
arrange it.
Hexel Spear Sheet? I don't think we use that. We have Floatpad and WinMe.
Thank you. Yeah, Windows Millennium Edition. I remember that. We're at 90% now. Thank you. Yeah, there's a restraining order against Reckless Ben, so he can't even talk about it. He did do an interview, though, that we're going to watch with Chris Cuomo, which is interesting. All right, so that's the end of this one. Very good video. CoffeeZilla. Check him out. The first time I watched him was when there was like I think it was a rug pull scandal, or it was like an app scam. It was like Logan Paul and Jake Paul did like a scam app that I think had crypto in it. I think that was the first time I watched him. He digs deep. First, we'll watch this before we watch the. So, people got the recordings of Reckless Ben in court, and it was just like a quick hearing to like determine where they're moving forward with a lot of this stuff. And it's by this legal mindset.
Today we have an update in the Bricks and Minifigs versus Reckless Ben case, in which case Ben appears to be going lawyerless, pro se. We're going to go that today on The Legal Mindset, where we teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney. So jumping right into it, we have several cases involving Bricks and Minifigs, the franchisees, Reckless Ben, the Mansells. But today we're going to focus on one of them that had a hearing today. And this particular one was in the 4th Judicial District for the Provo Justice Court. You see Utah, state of Utah. You see the case number there, 261-000-376. So it's for misdemeanors, and it came up in front of Stephen F. Schreier. Now, this was for 2 separate charges, the first of which was disorderly conduct, and we're going to get into what that means and what that entails.
Disorderly conduct is a blanket charge that if a cop wants to charge you with something, they can figure out a reason. It's kind of bullshit. it's like it's very non-specific. It's very vague, and it's like, oh, well, you're being disorderly because I think you are.
Class C misdemeanor. The next was criminal trespassing, which is a Class B misdemeanor. Now we'll get into what those mean in just a second, but first, this important message. Recently, this platform may be entitled to something that, in many places, of over $1,000.
Basically, this channel, like a lot of these law channels, they get business at their law firms.
All right,
because of this
now,
stuff.
What did those actual counts mean? Well, first, disorderly conduct is a very
name.
Very broad misdemeanor. It's something that, once again, in many places around the United States, if the police are really looking to get you for something, they can probably dig in under disorderly conduct and find something. So in this case, under this statute, the particular statute, it can be refusing to comply with a lawful order of the police to move from a public place or an official meeting, to unknowingly create a hazardous or physically offensive condition by any act that serves no legitimate purpose. So that's very broad there, right? B, intending to cause any public inconvenience, annoyance, or alarm, or recklessly create a risk of public inconvenience, annoyance, or alarm. It's very funny because one of the things when I covered Vitali in the Philippines and Johnny Somali is they said they didn't have, that the U.S. doesn't have any laws for annoying people or causing disruption. And no, in fact, this is indeed one, disorderly conduct in the U.S. Very, very, very common that has this as an element. Further, to engage in fighting or any violent, tumultuous, or threatening behavior, to make unreasonable noises in a public place or an official meeting, making unreasonable noises in a private place, which can be heard in a public place, or to obstruct vehicular or pedestrian traffic in a public place or an official meeting. So a lot of different qualifications here. Of course, this is a misdemeanor. This is not a felony.
When I was in my 20s, I got caught with weed, and when I got a lawyer for it, they told me like, oh, well, if you get convicted of this weed charge, that's a drug charge. And in Ohio, having any type of drug charge, even if it's not relating to driving or like being impaired while driving, they'll take your driver's license away for like 6 to 12 months. So I took a plea deal where if I just pled no contest, it would be disorderly conduct rather than like possession or whatever. And basically it was the same idea. It was a misdemeanor charge, and I didn't have to, because it was switched to a non-drug related crime. But now weed is completely legal in Ohio, so it's stupid. But yeah, that's my one criminal thing. I pled no contest to the lowest level misdemeanor you could possibly do, and it was disorderly conduct. And it has fucked with me in the past, like trying to get a loan, trying to rent an apartment, trying to apply for a job. It has definitely like come back to bite me a few times, even though now it would be completely legal what I had, and I was not, because they didn't charge me with like a DUI or whatever, or driving while impaired or whatever. It was just like, actually it wasn't even possession of the drug itself. It was possession of the pipe to smoke it out of. And that was actually a worse charge than just having like some weed. I don't feel like paying a lawyer to get it expunged. It probably could get expunged now. The last time I really had to deal with it was I applied for what do they call it? Like a federal business loan, and I had to like provide all this documentation about it.
You're not going to lose any, rights here. There's no right to vote stripped away from you for this. Moving on, there's criminal trespass, which is a Class B misdemeanor, which is knowing that entry or presence or the unmanned aircraft, that's going to be the drone that they're flying, that the unmanned aircraft's entry or presence was unlawful, entered and remained upon the property, or caused the unmanned aircraft, the drone, to unlawfully enter and remain over the property, as to which notice against entering was given by, number one, personal communication to the actor by the owner or somebody with apparent authority to act for the owner. So telling them verbally, hey, you need to leave. And we did hear that several times. Also, fencing or other enclosures, obviously designed to exclude intruders. In some cases, there was fencing and enclosures. And 3, posting of signs reasonably likely to come to the attention of intruders.
Yes, it is on my record forever unless I get it expunged, which sometimes even if something's expunged, it's still technically there if you dig deep enough. So yeah, 25 years ago, I did something that was a crime that isn't a crime now.
So a criminal trespass, once
Crazy.
again, similar to the disorderly conduct, it's going to be very easy to get this one, and this one is more of a layup. But once again, this is not a felony. This is not something you go away for 30 years or life or get the
Expunged sounds like some gross sex word.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, we're at 91.37%. We're going to kill the ghoul. Help me kill the ghoul, everybody.
Capital
Thank
punishment over. These are just misdemeanors. Now, let's get to what actually went down during the hearing today.
All right, do you have Benjamin Schneider online?
Yes.
Here it is.
Sorry.
Here it is. They let him like Zoom meeting into the court.
For the last time you called, I think I hit the wrong button and accidentally got in a private meeting with the prosecutor, but I'm here now.
Oh, that's fine. All right, we're here on case.
So very good. They're allowing him to do things digitally. A lot of courthouses are still
$77.63 away from the ghoul.
Still not up to date when it comes to digital and working online. So good for them to letting Ben to do things online.
Case 261 ending 376 scheduled for a pretrial today. And are you representing yourself on this case, Mr. Schneider?
Yes.
So that's called pro se. That means he's representing himself. Now, mind you, this is for the very specific charges of trespass and disorderly conduct. This is not necessarily for the RICO case. He may plan to have an attorney there, but this is pretty big because while he may have confidence and he may be able to handle some things here, the thing for Ben, the thing Ben has to worry about is this web that ties together. And what I would be very concerned about is even if he felt confidence in this case for the trespassing for disorderly conduct to do that himself, he really needs a lawyer there to think about how these things are all going to tie together for him and how the results are going to play
Hey guys,
out.
a lawyer is telling you need a lawyer. I mean, he probably does, but it's funny.
Okay. Have you had a chance to speak with the prosecutor then?
Yes.
And that's where you got to be careful too. You got to be careful what you say to the prosecutor because, they're not always looking out for your best interest as the defendant. They might be looking to pull a fast one on you. They might be looking to take a different angle with you. So you have to be very careful.
Do you need time to do video footage?
Yes, there's the defendant claims that he gave some video footage to officers, and so it's time to go with that.
Okay. Does that work for you, Mr. Schneider?
Yes.
Okay. Where do you live, Mr. Schneider?
Los Angeles.
Okay.
So he's not in Utah.
July 6th, 11 o'clock in the morning. Does that work for you?
Yes.
So we got a date.
Okay. And you understand that's Utah time, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then, have you done your fingerprints yet?
When I went to, I got arrested and did a fingerprint there. I don't know if that transfers over.
Usually it's got to be case by case, although it is very annoying. And some places do link these things up, but a lot of times it's case by case.
But I've not done a fingerprint for this specific case now.
Okay, yeah, the fingerprints are linked to the case, so you need to go to your local police department, get a fingerprint card, and mail that into the court, okay?
Okay.
Old
Can you
school
get that
fingerprint
done by the
cards.
next court hearing?
Okay.
All right, that'll be the order then. Any questions for me, Mr. Schneider?
No.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Is that it?
Yeah, we'll see you on July 6th.
So boom, there you go. You have it. They have it there to see him on July 6th. So in this, it literally seems very simple. There's not much controversial. We're going to have coming up this hearing on July 6th. But what is true, and turning to my judgment, what is true is Ben needs to lawyer up for the trial.
I know what
while
the real story is behind Ben's misdemeanor. Cyrax and Ben was running a drug ring for 12 years. When they got caught, Cyrax snorted it all and ran away Roadrunner style. Ben got left behind holding an empty bag and a crack pipe.
Damn. That's crazy. Damn. So this happened like 23 years ago. And prior to that, we were running a ring for 12 years prior to that. And Cyrax is 35 years old. So I was running a drug ring with Cyrax when he was 2. That's interesting how that works. And I would have been pretty young too.
Pro se is fine at certain instances.
I'm
and
10
maybe
years older than Cyrax.
Or the very, very basics
So I'd have
here
been
to
12.
come in and make an initial plea. He definitely should be lawyering up at this point.
Well, I was 12.
To fight
Have
these
you no
charges.
shame? No decency, good sir. Benjamin?
I don't. I have no shame whatsoever. Thank you. We're getting so close to killing the ghoul. I can feel it.
To fight these cases that he's going to be seeing. They're very serious. It's not something to laugh about or to mock. And even if, mind you, these things might be entering into some sort of...
All right, he's just going to say you should get a lawyer. All right, so we've got another thing to watch. It's the Chris Cuomo Reckless Ben interview. Before we do that, I have to do a quick bathroom break. I'll be right back, and then we'll watch that one. Had to do that. Oh, and as a thank you, for those of you who assisted me in getting so close to the ghoul, and hopefully we'll kill the ghoul in the next hour or so here. And yeah, you can call me King Cobra if you want. But I made my own. This is actually wine. But I made it out of 100% pure Welch's grape juice and some winemaking yeast and a bunch of sugar. And that's how I made it. And then I let it age for about 4 weeks. Or I let it ferment for about 4 weeks, and then I let it age for another. And it should be about like 12%. All of the sweetness.
Men who transition into women need to pee a lot. Is there something you need to tell us, Sir
Yes.
Benjamin?
You figured it out. You cracked the code.
Fuck Jared Genesis.
Whoa!
That's fat piece of shit. Fuck Jared Genesis. That's
It
fat
holds up
piece
if you
of
don't
shit.
examine it.
Fuck
Yeah.
Jared Genesis. That's fat.
So yeah, gonna try this out. This is the first time too. It's a red wine made out of Welch's Concord grape juice. Don't want to drink too much. But I learned how to use a hydrometer to measure gravity and ABV. If I did it right, it should be at about 12%. It's kind of sour. There's all of the sweetness from it is gone. Like all of that sweetness. It does taste like a red wine. It's not the greatest I've ever had. But it's not like gross. I can tell like all the sugars have been fermented. Yeah, it's Welch's Concord grape juice, sugar, and winemaker's yeast, and that's all it was. And it was very fizzy and bubbly for like weeks, and now it's more flat. All right, here's the Reckless Ben with Cuomo interview.
Welcome to Cuomo Crime Time. We got another person at the center of a major viral controversy. Reckless Ben Schneider, 30 years old, but he is absolutely in the spotlight. And there's been a very dramatic turn in what's become known as the Lego case. This has been really fascinating for me. Why? Well, the destiny of a creator and what their reach can be. This is a guy who was doing slacklining, and now he's taking on like corporate power structures and contracts and, equity and like really big ideas. And now it's involving the police, it's involving litigation, and he just was given a TRO against him, meaning
the Cuomos are an old money type of family, like the Cuomo brothers that we know of now. Their father was Mario Cuomo. He was governor of New York. They've been part of the establishment there for a long time.
that whoever he's in litigation with, and now he's afraid to talk about it because of under advice of counsel, he's got problems, as you're about to hear in a second. But they're saying you can't say the things that you want to say anymore. And it's a really interesting test of the power of the internet, the power of the law, and how those two go together. And what is justice in this situation?
It's very tart.
Just because a company doesn't like what he's saying and what he's doing doesn't mean that he should be silenced. And for how long? And there's a deadline coming. And even though he is exposed to risk, I guess living up to his name as Reckless Ben, he decided to talk to me anyway and to tell me what just happened and what may happen next and why he's doing all this in the first place. He had a nice little business going for himself. Now he's getting more clicks, but there's a lot more controversy. There's a lot more risk for Reckless Ben. So here's the latest right from him. Ben, thank you for taking the opportunity.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me on.
All right, so Reckless Ben Schneider. First, before you give me the latest on the Lego situation, what do you make of what's going on with the drama surrounding this in general? How do you process what's going on here?
Dude, it's insane. Basically, I've been making videos for 6 years, and every time I put something out, it gets like age restricted or shadow banned and taken down. And I've never really gotten the chance to go viral, so I kind of just thought I was just gonna post this and then just move on to the next video. But yeah, it's kind of like broken the internet almost. It's kind of crazy how big this whole thing's gotten.
How did you come upon this situation, which is pretty discreet situation, right? I mean, one family, a private family, bricks and minifigs, just a contract dispute.
Reckless Ben seems like a really nice guy. He definitely has talent. He's a creative thinker. The one thing I notice is that when he does a lot of these interviews, he's never in a good reception zone. I don't know if he's still hiding in Mexico, but they still have 5G there. It's like, Reckless Ben, drive to a place where you're, or can you at least like be in front of a computer or something? Like, why be in a car on your phone?
How did you learn about this, and why did you decide to get involved?
So basically, I put at the end of my last video, I found this guy who basically was like super anonymous. I went on this huge journey to find him, and the cops couldn't find him or anything. So within my last video, I kind of just put out a little call to action. I just said, hey, if anyone has a problem out there and the police can't solve it, send me this email. And so I created an email just for that. I posted that when I was on my way to Burning Man. And then raining at Burning Man, so the line was like 26 hours of a line. So me and my like 3 friends were just all going through my email, just all reading through like the thousands of emails we got. And then we saw a video about Legos, and we're like, huh, that's like kind of family friendly. Maybe if we do a video on this, that could be cool. And
by the way, the $60 dono is hilarious. And that would get us over the finish line. So I'm just saying, I know you might not have $60, but the $60 dono is it involves the lolcow known as E2 claiming that the Mexican mafia will kill him if he doesn't give them $60. It's really funny.
Because I was just so tired of getting like shadow banned and stuff, and from doing
At
like
the goal, Ben is going to get blackout drunk. Come on, guys.
This stuff, I'm already feeling it. So it might actually, I just started learning how to use a hydrometer. So I may have miscalculated. This actually tastes and feels like it's well above 12%. There's a lot of sugar in the grape juice anyway, and I added extra sugar. Like there was no added sugar to the grape juice when I bought it. But
okay.
Oh shit!
Okay, with this revelation,
Tree
guy,
Fitty's
this
great.
White privileged white kid with
Tree
his
Fitty's
fat
great.
wife.
We're at 850 now too.
Okay. With this revelation news guy, this white privileged,
I already am actually.
white kid with his fat wife.
I'm kind of like, what the fuck did I create?
Okay, with this revelation news guy, this white privileged white kid with his fat wife.
With his fat wife.
Okay. With this revelation news guy.
Early stuff. So I was like, maybe I can take my antics and do it on a thing that's about something family friendly like Legos, And so it's kind of what caught my eye.
Guys, let me talk to you.
I'll tell you what, Chris Cuomo's getting a lot of ads. Wonder how much he gets paid for this shit. He's selling silver.
American Hartford Gold. So it's such an interesting departure from what you used to do, what you see as the brand of Reckless Ben. What do you make of the pivot towards crime investigating, citizen journalism, and whether or not this is the space for you. How do you feel about it now with all that's going down with this case?
So
I loved, it was hilarious during COVID when Chris Cuomo was diagnosed with COVID and he I think this was when he was still on CNN. He was like broadcasting from his basement, and then when someone caught him like out and about somewhere, like completely blew that narrative out of the water.
the first thing is I'm kind of not really allowed to talk about the case right now, which
But it was
sucks.
all a
I just want
grift.
to be an open book and talk as much as I can because like my whole thing is I just want to be transparent. I hate it when people
I'm thinking Chris has. See, when you're rich, you can have good hair replacement surgery. I'm pretty sure he's had hair replacement surgery, and it looks good. Like Elon Musk was mostly bald by the time he was 30, and his hair looks passable.
like, oh, my lawyer said I shouldn't talk about this, so I'm not
You
going to. I
can't
think that's
trust
so
these wops. They are almost as bad as the Polacks.
Hey, don't go there.
Annoying. But in this case, not my lawyer saying that. It's literally the court saying that. So if I talk about it, they will literally just send me to jail. It makes me so mad when people are like, oh, I can't talk about this because my lawyer said it's a bad.
I think I'm in the minority where I'd rather eat Polish food than Italian food. I like Italian food too, but I'd rather eat Polish food because I grew up on that shit. My grandmother would make pierogies like from scratch. We would have them like for Thanksgiving and shit.
Idea could be getting me in trouble. And I always hate that. And I'm like, I'll talk about it. I'm an open book. I have nothing to hide, like I can just talk about anything. But in this rare situation, there's actually a court order that I'm not allowed to talk about it. And if I talk about it, not only do I go to jail, but the entire GoFundMe that's made for Brian will now go to this mystery company I'm not allowed to talk about. And they're doing that because they said I made bomb threats on them. They said I threatened to murder everyone in this mystery company's store. I was going to murder them. I'm going to burn the whole place down is what they said. And this is a factual statement. I never said those things. But they are saying I did say those things. So that's not disparaging them to say that, but that's just a truthful statement. And that's pretty much all I can say about the case, I guess, right now, which sucks. I want to talk about it so bad. I want to just be an open book and say everything.
Well, first of all, you have the opportunity going forward. You have your own platform. You're always welcome on mine as well. But just so you understand, how do you feel?
Ross Moore, white is white. It does because there's such a spectrum of people that are considered to be white, and it's like gingers in Ireland and other parts of northwestern Europe are considered white, but then Italians and Greeks are considered white too, but there's obviously a huge skin tone difference, so, and then there's everything in between that. So I think the term white is kind of a stupid term and it's subjective. Now Nick Fuentes is considered white when he has Mexican ancestry. That wouldn't have been considered white, 100 years ago. So, well, there was even a time where Polish weren't considered white in early 20th century America. So,
about a court silencing you because a TRO and telling people what they can and can't say, especially when it's not part of a specific litigation, is very rare. So why do you think this is happening?
If I said why I think it's happening, it might make the judge upset, and then he might change it from a temporary restraining order to a permanent restraining order. So I'm going to keep my personal opinions on the down low until after the case.
He's being smart. You know what? I wouldn't even do this interview, period. And if I did somehow end up doing it, I would do it with my lawyer sitting next to me. Because people do those. You ever seen those interviews where someone has their lawyer sitting next to them? So either not do it at all or have your lawyer there to stop you from answering questions that you shouldn't answer.
Because
his freedom is at stake. It's not just a lawsuit. There's criminal charges.
Because right now, basically what my lawyer said is just basically suck up to this judge, basically just do whatever it takes to get this restraining order taken off and don't jeopardize it.
The cops are Mormon. The corrupt cops that like swatted his house at gunpoint and like found bullshit reasons to pull them over and search their car and was like, "Oh, we think you have heroin, so we're going to detain you for 3 hours and search like every crevice of your car."
So on June 30th, I should be able to answer that question.
So do you think that this is the company using the system against you?
The first governor of Utah was Brigham Young. And because Brigham Young had so many wives, there's so many people in present day that are direct descendants of Brigham Young. Do you remember the NFL quarterback in the 90s, Steve Young? He even went to BYU. Like, he's a 5-time or 3-time great-grandson of Brigham Young. Dude was very powerful.
I don't think that. A lot of the internet thinks that, I think, but I don't think this mystery company would ever do that. No.
But it's such a weird situation for this to be happening. And just to be clear, you say that any suggestion that you made threats is not true. And as far as you know, nobody connected to your team made any threats?
And here's the thing, we film every single thing we do, and I've submitted the footage to the police already, and the police have seen that not only am I claiming I did not make the threats, I've sent the footage to the police, and the police have seen that I did not make these threats.
Brigham Young had 57 wives and had 57 children with 16 of his wives. Some of the wives they had this tradition back in the day when they were still allowed to practice polygamy, where like Brigham Young became the leader of the Latter-day Saint Church after the founder, Joseph Smith, died. And at that time, it was expected that you had to marry the widows of... If you took over the church, you had to marry the widows of the previous leader. So that's why he had 56 wives. Some of them he probably didn't even have sexual relations with. He just married them out of like obligation. But yeah, it was also like, your brother dies, his wife has to marry you now. It's like that kind of shit, which is so weird.
And yet I'm still being charged for them. So,
well, you're not being charged. It's a civil suit, right? It's not a criminal situation. It's a civil situation, right?
I'm in like 6 lawsuits right now. They're trying to get me for, I think, extortion for making these threats. And I am in a criminal case because of that also. So it's insane what's happening. But yeah.
And is this what you anticipated happening? Is this part of your reckless style of knowing that there was a risk of this and going forward anyway, or is this a surprise to you?
Yeah, this is definitely a surprise. I thought I was just gonna do a video and then move on to the next video, but I mean it's good. I like it. It's like I like the extra stuff that's happening. It's more stuff I can document on now once I'm allowed to. But as of now, this kind of sucks. I just can't talk right now. It's really sad.
Well, let me see if I can keep you clear of it and just make people understand what you've been doing. So they came after you and said, hey, he's not protesting. He's not trying to get information. He's not serving us with litigation papers. He's just taunting us. He's stalking us. Or what do you want people to know about?
Yeah, they're claiming victimhood in so many ways, and that's why these criminal charges
Ben
are there.
will guaranteed pass out on the ground while the stream keeps going for a couple hours.
Maybe. You never know. It's happened before. History repeats itself. What can you do?
Whether or not that's true.
So that's up for the court to decide whether I was stalking and taunting them. My opinion, I was trying not to. I was trying not to do that, but that's not the narrative that's being spun right now. So I guess we'll see what a court decides on the 30th.
Are you worried?
No, I'm excited actually. I'm just I'm just.
He's breaking up. He's like underwater now
That
at
date's
this
gonna be
point.
Christmas to me. You know, it's gonna be like, oh, I'm just waiting for that day to come because right now all I can do is just wait. I guess. And I'm making a lot of videos, so there'll be a lot of new updates. Kind of creating a huge backlog right now, and on the 30th, then I can finally be allowed to talk again, as if the court rules in my favor.
Look, we all know the phone has positives and negatives like we've never seen before, especially social media. Social media got over on us. Recently, a judge ordered Meta and
Gotta
YouTube
skip this shit.
Having tech up. You heard what and I hope change comes for those.
Wow, Morgan and Morgan is advertising on all of these channels.
Thank you to Morgan and Morgan. Ben's having technical difficulties, which are kind of
We're
a metaphor
40 bucks
for the
away.
situation he's in, where the system does seem to be clamping down on him. Such a hot situation, even his phone
I cannot
is
drink
hot.
another one of these.
You heard what I said. He is dealing with the latest in this, which is that somebody that he's up against in this, and we can all imagine who that is. It's got to be the corporate entity behind this dispute with the family over their Legos, has gone to court, and they've gotten a restraining order, a temporary restraining order, which is what? A legal decision by this federal district court that...
Do they get Liv Morgan to do the Morgan and Morgan spots on WWE? I don't really watch wrestling much these days, which is crazy because I was like a diehard wrestling fan for most of my life. I love watching the old stuff. The new stuff is okay. Like, there's good and bad. There's stuff I do and don't like. Liv Morgan is a wrestler, a female wrestler that kind of looks like Margot Robbie a little bit. So they're still kind of like, they do find more athletic women than they used to find back in the day that can actually wrestle, but they still mostly choose like good looking ones. But I guess that's true for the guys too, mostly, but more so with the women.
Ben is saying things that they believe are threatening and defamatory, and the judge agreed with them temporarily. So now he's got to go to court, which, look, I think has real serious implications on a free speech level, because what Ben is doing, you can like it, you cannot like it, but it's pretty clear that he has a right to do it. And just because a corporation doesn't like how he's doing it, the idea of him getting silenced for any amount of time is very suspicious legally. And it will be resolved at the end of the month, he hopes. So can you see and hear me, Ben? I see you now.
Yeah, I can see and hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just kind of pleading your case to my audience about how weird this is. That, you know, you're just trying to bring attention to this and create a narrative of what you think happened here. And it seems to be getting pretty hot and pretty sticky, and you say you're okay with it.
I might have to be. No, I am really sad actually that it's happening, but
it's weird. He was like a pro slackliner, which it's like an extreme sport where it's like a tightrope, only there's like some slack on it. It's not tight, and they bounce around on it and do like crazy flips and shit. They have crazy balance and stuff, and I guess that's what he was known for originally.
I mean, I can't control.
There was a part in the documentary that he did where he had his shirt off and you could tell he was like he works out and shit. He's like a skinny muscle guy. You know what I mean?
I was just talking this with some of my friends the other day.
Very
like,
little
you
body
can't
fat.
control anything external. Like, I literally could not control this. Like, I was not in the courtroom. I was not allowed to share my side of the story. The court only heard this mystery company side of the story. And so because I didn't get to share my side, I literally could not do anything to prevent this. So I was telling my friends, it's like, okay, we can't control our external situation. We can only control how we react to it, you know? So like I can choose to be sad, or I can choose to be happy, you know? And like, That's what I can.
It's funny because like Chris Cuomo kind of looks like he could be related to RFK Jr. They both have a similar haircut and the like crazy tan going on. Like I know Chris Cuomo's Italian, but he definitely tans too.
I'm gonna choose to like at least be happy, you know, even though this terrible thing's happening to me. So, yeah, I can only choose how I react to things. I can't control external things. So, yeah.
You were saying before that this situation has made you think about your path as a content creator, and you see an easy path and a hard path, you were saying. And what does that mean to you?
Well, I mean, a lot of the times it's been like when I see people that go viral online and stuff, they just do the stupidest thing for like clicks and likes and stuff. And I feel like I could go so viral. So like I could have gone so viral like 5-6 years ago if I would have just like taken the easy route and just followed trends, you know, and just, oh, this is what's popular. Okay, just do this. This will go viral, you know. But I chose not to do that because I don't really care about like going viral. Like if I go viral, that's a cool like side effect of what I'm doing. But like what I really care about is telling a cool story and like helping people, you know, and solving mysteries. Like that's something that I care about. Those three things 1,000 times more than going viral. So like, and you can see if you look at my past videos, like I've always been solving like crazy mysteries. I've always been like going on cool adventures and like helping people and like doing things like that. And I've never gone viral before. So, I don't really care about viral. And obviously like I continue to do these things knowing that I'm probably not going to go viral, but I just do it because I like helping people and I like solving mysteries. I just like going on cool adventures, you know?
It's such an interesting shift. I mean, I saw your content of slacklining, you know, literally walking a tightrope, and you went from doing it literally to now kind of doing it figuratively in terms of like walking this, what can be a pretty precarious, a pretty reckless, you know, a dangerous, not reckless, but a dangerous line, taking on people in positions of power.
Yeah, I mean, I've always kind of just liked to do things that push myself because I think that's where you get the most fulfillment.
All right, yeah. What year was this from? Let's see. This is crazy. This kind of shit is madness. Are they going to play ads first, or are they just going to play the fucking video?
A self-proclaimed performance artist and daredevil takes his talents to new heights at LA's so-called graffiti towers. The tower stunt is just the latest challenge for the fearless trespasser who views his outrageous antics as a form of art.
Rick Chambers is live at the towers with more on the man behind the spectacular stunts. Rick.
Yeah, Micah, this man does consider himself to be more of an artist than a daredevil, and he certainly goes to extreme lengths to please his followers on social media. But at the same time, he's also showing us just how penetrable the security is here at
I would
downtown
pass
LA's
out.
#1 eyesore.
I'm not like afraid of heights, but something
So
like
I'm
this.
between the two abandoned graffiti towers in downtown LA.
You're looking at YouTuber Ben Schneider, or Reckless Ben, as he's known to his thousands of subscribers.
Don't fall, don't fall.
He's
Don't
walking
fall,
a
don't
slack
fall.
line between two of the graffiti towers at Oceanwide Plaza in downtown LA.
Hopefully I make it across and don't die.
Ben and his crew were able to avoid the expensive police perimeter on Sunday morning.
We pretend like we were a religious cult, and we got like 20 people that all hold signs that say Jesus saves. And the signs were blocking the police's point of view, and then we all just like hopped the fence.
Then they climbed 500 feet up the abandoned buildings and did that multiple times to string and then tighten two 1-inch nylon straps between the towers.
I call it moral graffiti is what I call it. I'm a moral graffiti artist. I vandalize buildings without causing any building damage.
Ben, who is an experienced slackliner, spent just over 2.5 minutes on the line in a safety harness, walking high above the city.
I was pretty confident Ben can pull it off.
Lydia Wren was a lookout for Ben's team and the getaway driver.
I just do this for fun. This is not, a job. I actually I work on a VR startup, so I'm like a tech person. Okay. So this is like my weekend thing.
Reckless Ben is known for his unusual stunts and has walked the line before.
I wouldn't
in
necessarily
Yosemite,
trust
and
this
that was even
harness.
higher. He's well aware of the danger.
Everything's dangerous, you know, like driving a car is dangerous, but we still drive. So like,
It's
the
a good
stunt I did's dangerous,
point,
but I think the risk I think the reward outweighed the risk, you know, because it's like, I think we inspired a lot of people. I got to push my comfort zone. We got to do something scary. We got to inspire the world to live their best life.
Oh my God.
Once police realized that there were trespassers on the tower property Sunday, they began to search. And the 28-year-old Ohio native had to hide in a tub covered with plywood.
Is he from
for several
Ohio?
hours. Eventually, though, he escaped both death and the police and pushed the limits of his comfort zone once again.
Oh, I made it.
Now, Ben and Lydia know
Fairfield.
that they were trespassing and may, in fact, still be facing some sort of a charge from the LAPD. Also tonight, though, that they're telling other people, don't try this type of
That's
thing.
crazy. I
Ben
didn't know he
has
was
been
from
trained to
Ohio.
walk the slack line. We also understand that they're already planning their next stunt. In downtown LA, I'm Rick Chambers. Guys, I'll throw it back to you in Hollywood.
In life is if you're constantly like pushing your comfort zone. So I love just anything that pushes my comfort zone. I love it so much. And so, yeah, like standing up to a mystery business that does sketchy things, that is like pushing my comfort zone. You know, it's uncomfortable for like a small YouTuber to stand up to this big company. You know, that's something that pushes my comfort zone. It's pushing my comfort zone to walk a slack line like 1,000 feet in the air. That's pushing my comfort zone. So just anything that pushes my comfort zone, I love it. I think that's the best way to like live life.
Do you think that you took on more risk here than you knew early on?
No, because the thing is the more the story
Sour.
grows, obviously the more viral it gets, the more
It works.
risk there is, because now there's more brand damage the more viral it goes. But then also the more public support you have, and then with the more public support, the more resources you're able to get to fight the allegations and stuff. So it kind of equals out, I guess. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just like, I don't know, it's not the craziest video I've ever done, I don't think.
Well, it's crazy what it means to people. Like when you think about what it means, why do you think it matters so much to people? It can't be that they care about whether it's 100 grand or 200 grand worth of minifigs. It can't be that. What do you think it is that matters to people about this that has caught on?
Yeah, because most people that watch it don't really care about Legos. Like, I'll say for me, I would never ever click on an hour and a half long video about Legos, but I would I think the story's so interesting, and it has more. It's not really just about Legos. It's about power. It's about how the story, at least, is about how a company can take power and like be in the wrong, but use their power and like money and resources to bully the little guy, you know? And that's what the story's ultimately about. It just happens to be done around Legos, you know? But it's not about Legos. It's about power and bullying and like corporate greed, you know?
Bullying.
Do you feel that you owe a service to the family involved, and like, you know, their perspective on this? Like, what does that mean to you?
I don't know. I just like helping people, I guess. It's just fun for me. So I just told him, I was like, hey, like I like challenges, you know, like I like things that are like really hard. Like kind of like you were saying with the slacklining. Like I'm gonna walk from like this cliff to this cliff 1,000 feet in the air on a slack. Like it seems impossible, and I'm like, challenge accepted, you know? So the harder it is to get these Legos back for the family, the more fun it is for me, you know? So I wouldn't say I like owe it to them or anything, but I just think it's a fun challenge. I'm having a blast on the adventure, you know? I think it's really fun. And so like for every like week that the Legos haven't gotten back yet, I'm just like, oh, it's an extra week that I get to go on this adventure, you know? So I just told him, I'm just not going to stop until I get you the Legos back, you know?
So you don't have, there's no part of you that is feeling right now like, wow, this is getting kind of heavy and it's not really worth it.
I just drank one glass of that shit and I am like straight up drunk. It's crazy.
I'm going to go.
Oh, no,
do
it's definitely worth
something
it. Oh, heck no. No, it's so fun for me. Yeah, the bigger the challenge, the greater the reward. I've always said that my whole life. no pain, no gain, you know? So if there's no challenge, then what's the adventure in that, you know? Like the adventure is, okay, let's find something challenging and let's figure out a way to solve this problem. I don't know. I was in mechanical engineering in college, and that's basically all I spent college. They just give you a really hard like math problem or something. They give you some type of problem to solve. And now, okay, I'm an engineer. I got to go in and design a contraption and figure out a way to solve this, you know? And I just love doing that so much. So the bigger the challenge, the more fun I'm having, you know?
Do you, when you look at how you got to this point on this story, are you comfortable with all of the decisions you made about what to shoot and how to shoot it and how to tell this story to this point?
Yeah, I think I made the best decision I could have made at the time. I mean, obviously, looking back, I made a ton of mistakes, you know, but I do that. Like everyone makes mistakes. That's what makes us human, you know. So I made a bunch of mistakes that, like in hindsight, you see now. But like when you're in the moment and like with the information I had, I didn't have hindsight, I guess. So I think I made the best decision I could have made for every decision with the information I had at the time.
So Reckless Ben is like, I've been making YouTube content forever, and I always get like shadow banned or demonetized or whatever. But I'm like, he has all this money now. His Patreon must have blew up or something. How did he afford to just run away to Mexico? Or is his girlfriend rich? Didn't she say she's like a startup or whatever? I don't know. How did he do this?
I think every person
I'm just
does
wondering.
that. I think like it's easy to look back and be like, oh, well, knowing what we know now, I should have done this. But
I'm sure he's making money now off of,
but we don't have
the
that
videos
hindsight
with
in
like
the moment,
millions
you know?
of views.
Any mistake that you made, what do you want people to know about why it should be seen as a mistake and not something that you did to intentionally get something wrong or to give the company a bad name?
Dang, I can't really get into this, but I'll give you some specifics on June 30th. But
June 30th.
I don't know. Like, there's probably a couple things where I might have gotten like these are just like small details that I might have got like wrong, I guess. But with the information I had, it's like I guess the collection wasn't actually worth $200,000. It was worth maybe around $120,000, and that was they inflated the price due to marketing reasons and stuff. But I guess that number kind of caught on. So every single person that told me about this story, like every character in the story,
he's drinking kombucha. He's drinking kombucha. It's my favorite brand of kombucha.
$200,000. Like you could sell these sets for $200,000. You know,
get yourself some kombucha.
That was, I guess, probably the biggest mistake I probably made. But yeah.
When you look out there now at the landscape, do you have people giving you ideas of other mysteries to take on, other investigations for people? And is there any outfit that you look at or any person and say, I want to do what they're doing?
I want to take on every mystery. I have an email just set up just for this where I just have like probably 10,000 ideas by now. And I wish I could do every single one because all of that, like almost every single idea I've got, I mean, I guess there's a few bad ones, but almost every single idea is just so good. And I just wish I could do them all. Like if I lived for eternity and I could just do them all, I'd be so happy. But sadly, we only have probably like 100 years on Earth, maybe. So I can't get to all of them. But
usually like 75 to 80.
I don't know. Yeah,
is what most of us get.
Some of the ideas are really good, and I'm excited to do more.
The goal here is to help this family because they need the money for health care, and you want to make sure that
average male life expectancy in the United States is 76.5 years.
That the powerful don't get away with something that's not fair. Do you know what your next is?
Oh,
women average about 5 years more.
Yeah, I'm working on 12 ideas right now. I basically just picked like 10 of like the best ideas, and I was like, I'm just gonna do all these at once. And the Lego one just came out first because it's kind of one of the more simple ones, but there's a lot that are even, I'd say even way crazier than the Lego video that are going to be coming out very soon. So that's exciting.
But how do you plan to, like, if you have to investigate things, like, are you going to staff up differently, or, you know what I mean? Like, how do you intend to, like, investigate?
Very few people make it
mysteries?
to 100. More than ever before, but still very few.
I don't know. I had some fans hit me up. They were like, I can hack stuff, or like, I know OSINT, and I just put them all in a Discord together, and we just started, I don't know, just solving crimes and stuff, and yeah. Right.
And you feel that you've found a new purpose? Like, do you think like this is what it's going to be? This is what Reckless Ben is now?
I mean, I don't know. I've been doing it for probably like 3 years now, starting with the McCain Manor stuff.
Look at the average life expectancy for Macau. It's technically part of China, but it used to be a Portuguese territory. It's the Las Vegas of China. It's the only place in China where gambling and all the stuff that you'd expect in Las Vegas is legal. Lots of money.
He ran this like torture ring where he would like bring people. He would pretend like he had the world's best haunted house and then take people there. And he didn't have a haunted house. He would just torture people. And I kind of shut that whole thing down. And then, yeah, ever since that, I was like, oh, maybe I should start doing stuff like this. Like, because the police were trying to shut him down for forever and they never could. So I was like, maybe the power of the internet is more powerful than the police. I don't know, because I guess like myself, couldn't shut down McCain Manor. He got shut down because the internet shut him down. I just made a cool story on it, and then I got the internet involved. But ultimately, the internet's what did it. So that's kind of why I started thinking. I was like, I think the internet might be more powerful than like our law enforcement now. So I was like, maybe I can just do like compelling documentaries and stuff. And if the police can't shut them down, then we'll have the internet do it.
Well, I got to tell you, I know that you have to be careful, and that's part of doing this job, by the way. It's one thing, when you can just get away with whatever you do. It's another thing when people may come after you for the decisions that you make. Welcome to my world, where, you got to think about what you say and what you put out, and whether or not you can back it up in a way that would withstand somebody suing you over it. It's a very different standard than just making an assessment about whether or not what you're doing is going to get you hurt physically. First of all, do I believe you?
Not
yes,
another.
Who is I answer and whether I do it or you do it, our rights are the same. I don't have any more right to ask questions than you do. Be at risk of
anyway. Cuomo. There's the Quomes, the Quomester. God, we're only like $40 away. Can we get one last tip train to bring this shit home? Can we do one last tip train to bring this shit home? Oh, the best way, because I've heard, especially people who are international, have an issue donating, is to just use PayPal as like a middleman. So like you can add your card to PayPal and send it through PayPal, but use your card as a source. A lot of banks think Streamlabs is sketchy, even though it's not. I've been using it for over 10 years, but a lot of banks are weirded out by it, but they're not weirded out by PayPal. So you just use PayPal so the bank sees it as PayPal charging them, and then PayPal sends it to Streamlabs. Yeah. Yeah. Holy shit. I made some strong ass wine, or whatever you want to call it, hooch, whatever you want to call it. Wow. Pretty crazy. Well, damn, I guess I'm just going to have to get the last 40 on the stream tonight. But it's fine. It's my fault for taking time off. So, I guess it's about time I wrap this one up because that's all the Reckless Ben stuff that I have right now. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back later. See you soon.